after high school is the early, I guess after 12th grade. It's been a year, I guess, since Dre got killed, and the rebuilding is. You guys are actually.
It's been a couple years.
We're growing.
It was a couple years. Like
we're growing.
Yeah,
we're having a great growth spurt.
And I remember this is like, let's say 89, 90. If someone mentioned MVPs, automatically as an outsider, you thought of them as on Orange Drive. It seemed like the Orange Drive thing, they were popping.
That's what was popping.
Yeah, because we pushed the West LA, so we was over there because we was able to create. Because like we said, being over here was so hot from Harvard, it was only so much we can do here because the heat was gonna come, you know. So,
but at the end of the day, this was a staple by then.
Yeah,
we were firmly planted here.
Right here, firmly.
And to all comers, whoever wanted to come, by then we were strong enough to withstand whatever.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time here. Like certain homies, but
like,
you know,
we're from we live over here. So of course we're gonna spend most of our time over here. But when we went over there, we didn't have a problem. You know, there was the regular rambunctious play of the West Boulevards and the schoolyards and the bumping of the heads and stuff like that, and they squab, whatever. But it never was a situation where they wanted to try to come through on Orange Drive.
Right, never. And if anything ever happened, it had to be, the phone call had to be put in here. Even though that was Orange Drive, we still call the shots over there.
Exactly.
We call the shots over there, here, 23rd, it don't matter. You know, when anything that has to do with MVP GC, you know, it has to run through a general. So yeah, Orange Drive was doing their thing over there, but nothing could be really done, unless it was ran by us.
So who's the first MVPG that was from that neighborhood that eventually became the top of this second generation?
I would say like Fine and Edit. Because see, Fine and Edit.
Shout out to Big Fine.
It's Big Fine and Big Edit.
Jerry.
And you actually talked to Edit. He's the one that you talked to first, and he gave me your number. Okay, those was the top one because they actually went to Mount Vernon with us.
Big Spud, rest in peace.
Yeah, Big Spud.
Yeah.
You know, rest in peace.
Yeah, we got.
They went to Mount Vernon with us, so they was one of the ones that came out of that junior high. So anybody that came out of that junior high, even though they might have not started claiming the hood to like that 9th grade year of the, or 10th grade year, summer of the 10th grade, somewhere around there, they still came out the original schoolhouse. You know, so they was, I would say, Fine and Edit and Spud.
Yeah.
You know, was the original Orange Drive.
But shout out to Big Clean.
Yeah. Big shout out to Big Clean, Nephew Clean.
Yeah.
You know, but those was the two guys that originally came out of Mount Vernon, so they was considered like the G's.
Okay, so then now when we get into the early 90s, a couple of you guys end up going to prison. Like, who's the first MVP to actually hit a prison yard?
Menace, probably.
Big Menace.
Big Menace is the godfather. He's the oldest member of the set. So he was the first one to hit the pen. He went to the pen when he wasn't even from the set, before we even got him. He already had pen.
Or at least doing time, you know, doing like county time, which was rough, you know. But yeah, he's the first one.
He's older. He's 5 years, 6 years older than us.
How is he so much older than y'all? And
I don't know about 5 or 6 years.
Remember,
old,
him and Top Dollar came from West Side Pimps, and that was a different thing.
I don't know about 5 or 6. He may be about 3 or 4. You know what I mean? And Top Dollar our age, like, you know, because he went to Mount Vernon with us.
But we had older people from the set.
Yeah, we did.
You know what I mean?
At that time, Menace was
rest in peace, Popeye. Once again, this is somebody who's way older than us.
Yeah.
Are these guys that were part of West Side Pimps and you all brought them in?
No, they were from different factions. I spoke on Menace and Top Dollar. They were from West Side Pimps. They were the only two, I believe. Popeye came to us from the Manhattan Mob, but once again, he was way older than us. He had way more experience in everything, life period.
Yeah, he came from Manhattan.
Let's talk a little bit about Manhattan Mob and Gramercy Street, because geographically, are they the two closest non-blood, non-crip groups to y'all?
Me growing up on 1934 Southwestern, I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so.
Because for whatever reason, the Gramercy Streets and the Manhattan Mobs, one block over,
neighbors,
did not get along.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't remember any killing between them, but there was a few shootings.
Absolutely.
And this was during y'all day too.
Yeah.
So what was y'all hearing about Gramercy Street hustle?
Well, first of all, let me say, shout out to MK from Gramercy. Well, my mama lived on Cimarron, right around the corner from Kissy House. He was one of my first friends. Kissy, I always knew about Gramercy, the forming of it and everything, because it came from Babe and Kissy and them. So I already heard about them, and we knew everything about them, and they knew everything about us. They saw the forming of us. We saw the forming of them. We knew the Manhattan mobs. They weren't foreign to us either. You know what I mean? We saw the beef, the feuds. We remember the football games, because that's what it really starts off as, like sports beef. This block playing this block in football.
Was it football games at that school on Gramercy?
Sometimes it was, yeah. Whitney. Sometimes it was at Whitney High in back of 24. They were in different places, but sometimes they were street games.
Yeah, and so for me, my first introduction to Manhattan, we used to walk home at times. You know, Big Aki, me. When he kind of left Mount Vernon a little early because he got kicked out for fighting, and he went to Berendo. So but we still meet after school, whatever, because he lived here. But we would walk home and we would pass like Popeye and some of the Manhattan guys that would be kicking it off of Washington, and they would always like show us love, like, man, you little niggas is fly, man. Where y'all from? And we from MP. What's that? Most Valuable Pimp. And people would always that name would blow people away because they'd be like, Pimps. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. You know what I mean? So that was my first introduction. It was always a welcoming thing. And then with the Gramercies, I went to Mount Vernon with Kissy. MK, and he was connected to the Cuddy, Woody, which Woody used to, claim neighborhood hustler. He's from neighborhood hustler, but he ran with the Gramercies
all the time.
And Woody would kick it with our homie Art Rich that lived on there because they was doing their rapping thing. So I knew Kissy, and so that's family. And then later on, when we got on Crenshaw on Washington, we started to, spend a lot of time with the Gramercies because they would pull up on us over there and domino games and card games and gamble and dice games.
They would come to our functions. We would go to their functions.
Yeah. What do you guys know about why the Gramercies and Manhattans hated each other so much? Being that they're in the same area.
Because we knew who they were. It wasn't our business.
Yeah, we didn't
delve in that line.
That was actually a little before my time because remember I came over here 7th grade, so they was already feuding.
It was that feud.
You know what I mean?
That feud was just a feud, and it was nothing you could say or do about it. It's like any other set or place that don't get along with another set or place.
Thanks for watching StreetTV.net. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button below and click the bell to receive alerts and notifications. Feel free to comment below so you can give us your feedback, and be sure to watch the 2 related episodes to the right. If you want to support this platform or follow us on social media, visit the links in the description, and thanks for watching StreetTV.net.